Hello, hello, coded friend dot 001 listeners. How are we doing today? Got to check on my monitor. All is well. We're coming through good. I don't have a lot of time to spend with you today. I have to get myself ready for work and grind out a little more meat, make some sausage, get a little more money in the bank. How's everybody doing? Got a few messages here I'm checking up on quick. Uh, Free speech and the herd mentality. We uh, we know there are people who don't want you to say things, whether they're true or not. It interferes with the little narrative they've constructed, and all I can say to those people is, well, I apologize. But the truth always comes out, you know? The truth always comes out in the end. So there's little you can do to you might be able to keep it hidden from a few people here and there, but somebody always catches up on something and presents a contradictory claim to the air quote evidence that's been put out into the court of public opinion. There's very little fact going on here. It's 90%, and it's at least 80% public, court of public opinion. People slinging their opinions around. There's very little receipt, very little factual information, provably factual information. So we will endeavor to pull more receipts and have more uh, validation of evidence. Today, we're going to talk. We're going to set this is the preamble to, well, I mean, I'm being accused of attacking. I apparently attacked Kick because I pointed out a motivation he had that, I didn't really agree with. And I think in hindsight and examining it, most people wouldn't agree with it. I've been accused of attacking Tina Slay because I referenced Frauditor Reaper, and didn't reference her by name. I narrowed the field pretty good. Female YouTube creator who presented information the same as Welsh News Network, and I'm not knocking Frauditor Reaper. She presented the same information as the Welsh News Network, and I didn't name her by name because I didn't want to drag her into the fray. Uh, Tina Slay used that, as an excuse to make it about her. And that's kind of what Tina Slay does. The whole justice for Caleb. Caleb got justice. He got a full investigation. Tina didn't like or didn't agree with the facts and the conclusion from the facts. That's her right to disagree. Is it her right to go around and say, and this is 100% provable, that the DEA agents or, whatever authority on the scene injected her son with methamphetamine at the time of his death or afterward? Because she knew that narrative is to counter the report in the fact in the autopsy, the toxicology report, that there was methamphetamine in Caleb Slay's system, which would indicate that an individual was not only using meth, but high at the time. So the narrative is now changed thanks to the efforts of the liar for hire at the Welsh News Network because, Tina's a cash cow. Tina shows up, the super chats start flying. The whole woe is me tear jerking thing brings in the cash. So I understand why there are certain YouTube creators that want to protect their cash cow and try to cover up, manipulate, and rework the lies she's told. Caleb being injected with methamphetamine by the authorities on the scene is a 100% bullshit fucking lie. But it's okay for Tina Slay to do it. It's okay for Tina Slay to do it. But if you call out that lie and that suspicion that she was at one point in time, a little less than a year ago, running around and telling people, you can't point that out. We should refrain from pointing out that Rebecca at the Welsh News Network did in fact state that her friend who operates an animal shelter in Vegas or is associated with an animal shelter in Vegas had picked up Charlie, Chili's dog. Then we saw the body cam footage and we saw that the police officers went the extra mile. They really went out of their way to not tow Chili's vehicle and not turn the dog over to animal control, which would have been a bigger pain in the ass for Chili. It would have caused more expense. So, for Rebecca to be saying that they've picked up Charlie, they've picked him up, they have him. That's just total fucking bullshit. But we're supposed to overlook these fucking lies and keep it's that whole fucking king thing. Put a crown on them, put a robe on them, and then you can't see the fucking person anymore. Just see the virtue signal disguise. And let them run at the mouth and say whatever they want, unchecked and unaccountable for the mistruths that they've spoken. Tina Slay was not on the scene at Caleb's death. She was held up the road quite a distance away, and she doesn't know what the fuck happened there. All Tina has is secondary hearsay. She refuses to accept the testimony of the witnesses that spoke with the police, the testimony of the DEA agents themselves, and she's telling stories that are supposedly based on eyewitnesses that were never interviewed by the police. That's pretty fucking convenient. That's a license to fucking lie. If people weren't interviewed by the police and Tina knows about it, why isn't Tina informing the police that there are uninterviewed witnesses? And it's might be one of those deals where somebody feels sorry for Tina, so they tell Tina a story to make her feel better. You don't know. All you know is these people are talking to Tina, but they wouldn't go and tell the investigators what they saw. Kind of raises a red flag there. Radius Hattis is in the chat with us today. First NTFG of the day. Flo B is here. Number 2 says, hey there, coded friend. .001 NTFG. And she gives a hello to Radius Hattis. Zach and Butch, the friendly pit bull, are here. Hello at codedfriend.001 and everyone in the chat, NTFG. Flo B returns the salutations and greeting to Zach and Butch. Delete Lips is with us with a hey at coded friend and an NTFG. Oop, we just refreshed. Radius, where are we here? Delete Lips says, I had to go to the doctor today. It's not too fucking good. Bronchitis, sinus infection, and they want me back next week for blood work. This is going to sound strange to you, Delete Lips. I strongly recommend this, especially if you're having breathing or, sinus issues, especially if you have congestion in your sinuses. Not an entire bulb of garlic, but peel a bulb of garlic, pull off one clove, take the skin off it, pop that thing in your mouth and chew it, chew it, chew it, chew it until it's mash, and then swallow it. You should start to feel your sinuses relieve in a few hours. Garlic has a fluid thinner in it, and it works really well. It was the go-to remedy when I was a kid growing up. It does work. Uh, it also makes you not tell anyone you're sick because you don't want to have to chew a fucking clove of garlic. But it does work. Give it a shot. Delete Lips again. They aren't sure if it's one of my autoimmune diseases flared up or possibly diabetes. Why would diabetes cause bronchitis and a sinus infection? That seems a little weird. But I do have diabetes in my family. My mom has diabetes, has to do the blood sugar monitoring and the insulin injection. So as I get older, I got to be careful about that stuff. Don't blow off diabetes. Take it seriously. If you have it, see a nutritionist. Work on what you're eating, when you're eating, and how much you're eating. Diabetes is a fucking killer. It hardens your arteries. It reduces your blood flow circulation, and it can, over time, it does increase the risk of stroke and heart attack. So don't treat that lightly. Do what the doctors tell you to do. Get a second opinion if you don't agree with the doctors, but don't blow off diabetes. Take it seriously. Flo B says she's sorry to hear that Delete Lips is having problems and hoping and praying that you get better. There is serious power in prayer. And when individuals, there's a measurable response to an individual who is sickly, knowing that someone or people are praying for their well-being. It does help. It may just be placebo effect, but it does help to speed recovery. Prayer is very powerful. So I would ask, if you're a praying person, that you include Delete Lips in your prayers today and in the future until we get a report back that Delete Lips is doing well again. Radius Haddis says, at Delete Lips, I hope that the blood work finds the problem so it can be resolved and you get to feeling better. I do too. Dearmid Costello says, hello to everyone. NTFG Hank. There's a question mark at the end of that. Dearmid Costello is looking for a barn burner. I don't know about today, but the next one will definitely turn the flames up a little bit. Delete Lips, thanks, Flo B. Says thanks at Flo B. I'm hoping it's just one or some of the autoimmune diseases, as I've been dealing with them for years. Diabetes is something I don't know much about and sure don't need anything else. Well, the good thing about diabetes, Delete Lips, is it's easier to control than, just avoiding getting sick. Diabetes is easier to control. It's easier to manage. It takes a little bit of time every day. Do the routine. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what the doctors ask you to do. Delete Lips says, thanks to Radius Haddis and a hello to Dearmid Costello. Dearmid Costello says, "Be positive at delete lips." Yep, that's another one too, man. A positive mind. When you're unhealthy, a positive mindset about being healthy again is beneficial because when you are stressed, your immune system does not function properly. So, happy thoughts. Happy thoughts, thoughts about what you're going to do when you're feeling better, all that stuff motivates you to get to the finish line and move on again. Rebel at Heart's with us at Delete Lips. Diabetes isn't hard if you watch what you eat and drink. I know. Yeah, there's good advice. Rebel at Heart at Coded at Dearmid at Delete Lips. Hey all. Dearmid with a high back to Rebel. Burns 66 is with us. Delete Lips says, Rebel, that could really interfere with my favorite drink of sweet tea. I believe my mom uses stevia as an alternate sweetener, and stevia is a nice little herb if you have a fairly decent warm season in the spring and summer, you can actually grow that in your herb garden. It's a nice little plant. Katie D's with us saying hello to the peeps. Purple Rain is here. Hello, Purple Rain. Rebel at Heart, Dear Maid. Rebel at Heart. Mrs. Oh, Ms. Bird Hunter is with us. Burns 66 correctly identifies the opening tune as a Bad Company tune. Rock steady. That's what we're going to do for a little bit here. We got to rock steady. We're going to chip away at that stone. Well, there's I don't know if it's in Sun Tzu's The Art of War or Musashi's The Book of the Five Rings, but there's a parable about a stone cutter who, was working at the base of a mountain, and he didn't want to be a stone cutter. He thought it was too lowly a position. He desired to be like the sun, shining brightly, illuminating everything. So he made a wish, and he became the sun. And he shone down over everything, and he basked in the glory of his sunness until a cloud came along and blocked him. And then he said, I don't want to be the sun. If the cloud can block me, the cloud must have more power than me. I want to be the cloud. So he became the cloud, and he reveled in the freedom of being a cloud and floating about and nothing to hinder him. And his ability to block the sun was real power. And then the wind came along and blew him away. And he said, if the wind can blow the cloud, which can block the sun, that's real power. I want to be the wind. And he became the wind. And he was reveling in the glory and the power of the might of the wind and being the wind. And then the wind came up to the mountain, and the mountain blocked the wind. And he said, I want to be like the mountain who has such power to block the wind, which can blow the cloud, which can block the sun. I want to be the mountain. And the man became the mountain. And for a time, he gloried in the size, presence, and solidity of being a mountain. And then the mountain, who was originally a stonecutter, heard tink, tink, tink. And the mountain realized that the stonecutter could bring down the mountain. That's the cycle. Wherever you are, whoever you are, you have power. You just have to realize what power you have and the proper application of your power to be beneficial. Everything can be overcome by something else. Everything in the natural world, no matter how mighty, no matter how massive, no matter how imposing, can be overcome by something else. So when it comes to the herd speak, the group think, the group speak, the narrative, eh, the lion sits on the edge and yawns. The lion doesn't want to be a part of the herd. The lion wants to use the herd to benefit the lion. There is no safety in numbers. Herd members get trampled by their own herd members when the lion appears and they panic. Everybody on the outside of the herd wants to push to the inside of the herd. That's the groupthink. There's always somebody in the center of the groupthink that's using the group to protect themselves from what's out there. Ms. Bird Hunter is with us. Carte Blanche is here. Good day, she says to at-coded friend Rebel at Heart, Dearmid Costello, Delete Lips, Zach and Butch the Pitbull, Katie D, Flo B, and Burn 66. A couple of hellos back to Carte Blanche. Walter, Texas is with us. NTFG, driving and listening in. You better not be typing while you're driving, Walter. We don't want to chili you out when you hit the rumble strip. Walter, Texas gets the tune right. Rock Steady by Bad Company. Great tune. Rebel at Heart says at Dearmid Costello, just think Dan might be there. Dan might be the one to lose to Chile after saying all that nasty shit and using the FBI. Yeah, man. Dan better fucking be careful, because with your suit comes the potential for a fucking countersuit. And Danny boy, you've been saying a lot of things that aren't true and hosting people who say things that aren't true. Make a lot of accusations over there, too. Quite a few about me, you and your panel, about why I was prohibited from entering Southeast Asia. You fucking retard. Yeah. That it's impossible to ban someone from Southeast Asia. It's impossible. But you're running around saying that shit. I don't hear you fucking correcting yourself. I don't even hear you saying, oops, we misspoke. You just act like the lies you told, that's yesterday and it's gone. It ain't gone when you're on YouTube and you're recording all the shit, Dan. So you might want to go back and look at, your own fucking statements instead of running and hiding from them, and make some corrections before you go around suing people for saying untruths about you. And you really need to prove your damages. How are you going to prove damages when Chile or Matt DeCastro sent a message to one person, an email message private that no one else saw? The person who received it knows that Chile is not one to tell the truth. He did a whole fucking report on it. And you somehow think you got damaged, and then you take the email and broadcast it so that 1,000 people can fucking view it. You're the one shooting yourself in the fucking foot. If it's damaging, why are you exposing everyone to it? Because you don't think it's damaging. Duh. The blind leading the blind, and the dumb, the dumb bumbling down the ditch embankment. You can't figure how to get the fuck out of it. Here's how you get out. Here's how you get out of everything. Tell the truth. You might suffer a little punishment because you didn't tell the truth, and now you're telling the truth. But it's better than letting the lie linger and become a bigger fucking thing. Hmm? Because there are a whole lot of voices, Danny Boy, repeating the rumors that started from you and your panel. And you can call out Road Pirate Films and say, oh, you can't do that here. You need proof of that. How much shit did you say about me without proof? Huh? You don't verify anything, Dan. I gave you a piece of misinformation. You not only did you not verify it, but you rolled that snowball. You took that rock and rolled it in the snow and made a big fucking snowball out of it. And now you throwing it around like it was the truth. And the lies, your lies have become so pervasive that you now have to scold people for repeating your own fucking lies, Dan. It's just amazing, dude. Well, it gave you the chance to virtue signal. So, ooh, Dan's politically correct and virtue signaling away. Meanwhile, your iconography is evil subduing good. Radius Hattis says at Delete Lips, my doctor has me on one metformin pill a day to control my diabetes. I can have a glass or two of soda without blowing my sugar count. Nice. There are different diabetes has different effects on different people. I think there are different subtle different types of it. Like my ma can't eat, like she can't eat a bowl of pasta because her sugar will be off the fucking map the following day. So carbs are, my mom has to watch her carb intake more than she has to watch her sugar intake. Katie D says, didn't expect this tonight. How does that Monty Python skit? The Spanish Inquisition. Surprise is our strongest weapon. Bring out the comfy chairs. Burns 66 is getting ready to go to bed. Walter, Texas is driving. Surrender Monkey is with us. Hello, Surrender Monkey. Dan, if I cough and that is the towel, hold on. This must be a lie I'm about to say. If when I cough or clear my throat, that's a tell that I'm lying. What's the sneeze? Because the cough and the sneeze are both the result of my springtime allergies. So, I guess I only lie in pollen season. Dickhead. Katie D says, didn't listen to WNN last night. Did they say anything about coded? I didn't listen to them last night either. I was busy honestly making a living instead of sitting on YouTube begging for fucking super chats. Oh, I did. Somebody alerted me to something. I don't know if it was last night or the night before. I got a link and a time marker. Apparently, Becca is now standing up to the audience members that are making, rude sexual comments and solicitations to her, which Dan used to encourage and giggle about. Becca has said that even though Dan does those things, and Blue Bear and Hank and every other fucking panel member, that doesn't mean it's okay for everyone to do it. And I kind of agree with that statement. Although Dan should set the example by acting like a fucking gentleman instead of a dog in heat. With your when your intimate relationship is involves a webcam and a battery operated vibrator, it's just the weirdness is going to fucking ensue after that. But apparently, Becca has started standing up for herself. We here at Coded Friend 001 give ourselves a little pat on the back because we're the ones that brought that out into the light, exposed it, and we are happy, more than happy, that Becca is responding to it positively and shutting that shit down. If you want it to end quick, Becca, the thing you should do is have Dan curb his fucking behavior because that will be a clear signal to everyone that that is not acceptable shit to do. As long as Dan is doing it, however you want to verbiate it and, spin the excuse for it, as long as Dan's doing it, you're going to hear it from other fucking people because the way a man treats his partner is the way the rest of the world thinks it's okay to treat that person. Eh. But then again, maybe Dan isn't a fucking man at all. I also here have to do something that, I really would prefer not to do. Rights on. I gotta give you I gotta give you kudos here, bro. You haven't always eh, I'm not gonna say you haven't always you haven't always told the truth because you made some P3DO comments about me, which are absolutely not fucking true. I'm willing to overlook that because I know that at the time that that shit was done, I know I got under your fucking skin. I know that I was busting your balls about Chile, and I know that there was a time there where you, me, and Platoon Hard Drive were possibly going to coalesce and explore the possibilities of a friendship or just working together. And I know that some things I said fucked that up, and the retaliation came or the hurt feel. And I'm not going to say hurt feelings because I don't want to. I don't want this to be demeaning. Uh, Whatever I did that upset you, that's how you reacted to it. Fine, dude. I'm not going to ask you to take it down. I'm not going to ask you to correct it. I'm not going to ask for any of that shit. Just let it be there. It's not a big deal to me. If people want to believe that shit, I don't want to have anything to fucking do with them. I do got to give you a hats off though, because on your coverage of the Welsh News Network, you did tone yourself down a bit, and you are presenting facts in that case. And the pieces of advice I would give you is drop the shotgun blast at the end of the video. If you want to keep them, they seem to be your signature thing. If you want to keep them, keep them. I would tone that down a little bit, and I would ease up on the badge bunny and that shit because demeaning women is and derogatory statements about women, badge bunny shit like that. I mean, even if it's true, it doesn't, the optics of it aren't good for you. Now if you don't fucking care about that, that's you, man. You rock the way you want to rock. You do you. Just friendly advice. But I do have to say, and as much as people are going to fucking hate to hear it, you've done a pretty good job. You've been very accurate. You've brought receipts, and you're exposing the lies at Welsh News Network, and you're showing where Dan says I never said that. You're going back, you're doing your homework, you're hunting, you're finding, and you're showing where he did say the shit that he said, and you've made my hunting a little bit easier. So you're on the right path, bro. Good luck to you, and I hope you have success in the future. And I got to give a shout out to Stoned Vet because Josh, because Josh has been critical of Rights On, even though they're friends. Josh is not a fucking groupthink herd mentality guy. Stoned Vet is about the truth. And, he doesn't sugarcoat shit when he's talking about Rights On sometimes. He has pointed out positive attributes that Rights On has, and he has, he's blatantly said where Rights On has, fucked something up or been too harsh or, maybe should learn to smooth out things a little bit before he speaks them. I think Stoned Vet in the game is a quality player. I think you can look at the procession of the presentation, the development in his videos over the past 4 to 6 months. And, that motherfucker's going to break out one day and he's going to be big on YouTube. He's factual. He's an intelligence gatherer. He knows how to properly use gathered intelligence. And he's not a bullshitter. He tells the truth. And look, there aren't many people that self-correct here in YouTube that self-correct the way Stoned Vet self-corrects. And that Memento Mori series is just been fucking phenomenal. So I know most of us here are, most of my listeners are already tuned in to Stone Vet. So I would like to encourage any new listeners that come along to give Stone Vet a look-see and see if you like him or not. He's got good quality content. He's got unique presentation, unique editing. He's good, man. He's good. Even if you're just a YouTube creator looking to explore divergent styles, you have to have Stoned Vet. You have to have gone and viewed some of Stoned Vet stuff, including his Pattern of Life series, which isn't like I don't think a lot of people identify with it, but he refers to it as like tone poetry, and it is. It is more poetic than verbalization, and it's good fucking material. So give Stone Vet a look see, especially here, on Memorial Day weekend. Give him a look. I'm gonna go through these comments real quick. Nope, wasn't me is here. I knew who you were talking about right away. Never did I think Tina Slay. Exactly. Tina Slay's not a female YouTube creator. Thank you, Nope. Nope says hi to everyone. Delete Lips says exactly coded. We're almost here. Surrender Monkey said, hi, all. Reaper doesn't want trouble. She wants to expose Chili. That's all. I agree with that, Surrender Monkey. That's why in the beginning I didn't say her name. I just referenced her as a female YouTube creator, which, Tina Slay had been, frothing at the mouth. And, she's a little upset that I was taking digs on Dan. And she used that as an opportunity to push herself into the fray. Because Tina Slay was going to tell Coded what he can and can't say and how he can and can't behave. And there would be hell to pay, Dan's devil. There would be hell to pay if Coded didn't shut up when Tina said shut up. Hey, Tina, we're going to be talking a lot about you. You've told quite a few fucking lies, Tina. Lies, mistruths, exaggerations. Your whole account of what happened with Caleb is shit that you manufactured from secondhand, third-hand information. So-and-so told me. So-and-so told so-and-so, and so-and-so told me. How are you any different than Chili DeCastro? How are you any different than Chili DeCastro or the Sav Sits that you crack on and make fun of? You're doing the same shit. You're out there, the government's all bad and it doesn't care about the people. Yeah, they're doing a good job keeping the fucking Russians and the Chinese out of here. So, they obviously do care. Hundreds of thousands of rape kits untested were destroyed in Springfield, Missouri Police Department. Okay. Why were they destroyed? Why were they destroyed? Were they untestable? Because of time, because of spoiling? What was the reason? Were they untested and destroyed because if a plea deal, most cases are solved with plea deals. So if a plea deal was made There's no need to test the fucking evidence. That would be a reason to destroy them. And if the majority of cases are pled out instead of tried in court after the plea is all worked out, you don't need to keep the fucking data anymore, especially if it's untested. So, the reasons you're giving that the police department is so corrupt, they only work superficially. You're going back to fucking 1994 and all of your evidence, Tina, is anecdotal. It's one or two instances spread over a 20-year period that, statistically are fucking insignificant. You need to have a lot more fucking data than what you're presenting. A lot more fucking data for it to be significant. The data you have measured against the totality is insignificant. But they're good stories. They're good stories for your narrative. Yeah, and Surrender Monkey, I kind of, I feel bad that I had to say Fraud the Reaper's name, but if Tina hadn't been, saying it was her I was talking about, I wouldn't have had to mention Fraud the Reaper. So, that's what Tina doesn't give a fuck about collateral damage as long as the fat chick in the bathtub gets what she fucking wants. Good God, eat a fucking carrot. Have a salad once in a while. Fuck's sake. Usually when you're stressed out and worried, you don't eat and you start losing weight. You don't show any signs of that, Tina. You don't show any signs of that. You show signs of a overindulged plump lady who's eating fucking cheesecake 4 meals, not someone who's so stressed they can't eat. And most people I know that go through a fucking serious mourning period drop fucking weight. Walter, Texas. Oh, wait, here. Dear Med Costello says, saw some of WNN and the Scottish guy got so bored he fell asleep. That happens almost every time. Walter, Texas, don't believe that. Walter, Texas, it sure could have been a very bad investigation and even worse shooting. But the problem is there's no evidence. There's no evidence. There's just shit that Tina manufactured. It could have been. Yeah, it could have been. There could be life on the fucking dark side of the moon. Nobody sees it, There could be. There's a huge fucking difference between could have been and is. And you can't have the could have beens invented by people who only have secondhand information and were never fucking there. Tina didn't make any reports, write anything down. Tina's just working off the top of her head when she goes and tells a fucking story. Look, what happened in Germany, World War II, isn't the fault of Adolf Hitler. It's the fault of the whole country. Because what happens is the political leaders know what their constituents want. They know what the bulk of their constituents want, and they try to feed that want to gain support. So Hitler talks to the masses echo back. Hitler says, "Oh, if I blame it all on the Jays, then the crowd goes crazy." So Hitler does his speeching and he blames it all on the Jays, and the crowd goes crazy. And then the crowd is like, Der Fuhrer doesn't like the Jays either. And they yell back even fucking louder to cheer Der Fuhrer on. And then Der Fuhrer says, wow, the masses love me because I don't like the Jays. They don't like the Jays. I don't like the Jays. And he just starts yelling back shit about the Jays, and the crowd gets worked into a fucking frenzy. Next thing you know, people are fucking dying left and right. The same shit goes on the micro scale. The same shit goes on the fucking micro scale. Only now it's frauditors and anti-frauditors, and Tina Slay is their Fuhrer. Nobody's checking any info. It's just fucking spew hate and wild accusations. The police injected my son with fucking methamphetamine after he was dead. Well, how'd it circulate to his fucking liver if his heart wasn't fucking beating? Do, 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 do. I'm so dizzy, my head is spinning. That's that fucking song keeps going through my head every time I listen to fucking Tina Slay talk, because you gotta fucking, you literally have to chase your own tail to make Tina's shit fucking make sense for you. I don't get how the snooze crowd is just sitting there. The snooze audience is lulled into sleep. They don't even fucking, they can't, they're not even picking up on the fucking lies they're told on a regular basis. No one at the snooze network is calling Dan out for the shit that he does. No one's calling Becca out for the lie she told about the fucking having Chili's dog picked up. No one's calling her out for that. Oh, that's just an insignificant thing. It might be an insignificant lie, but it's still another of the many fucking lies. You know, this is what Dan said. This is what Dan said to excuse the bad behavior of his people, his panel members, his co-hosts, his audience members, people Dan likes, which are always creators with larger fucking subscriber bases than Dan's. Hey, if you have 10, 20,000 subscribers and you told a lie, Dan will come along. Dan will come along and fix your fucking lie. He'll tell more lies to fucking smooth out the fucking lie you got caught in. Like the fucking Sudafed bullshit. Like the fucking Sudafed bullshit. That's the new excuse. We've dropped that side. Tina has dropped the accusation that the police injected the methamphetamine into her dead son's body and is now, you know, using Sudafed as a fucking excuse. Hey, Tina, Sudafed is used to manufacture methamphetamine in a home lab, and your son was buying large quantities of it and had to show ID to get it. You know, when you tell fucking, when you rework your story and now you're telling a different story, you're telling a story that may look like he was one of the buyers of the basic ingredient for the manufacturer to make the shit. And guess what? Guess what? This story is starting to look like the Chili GHB story. This story is starting to look like the Chili GHB story. There were multiple people caught up with Chili and the GHB thing. Chili snitched, my opinion. My opinion is that Chili snitched. That's why Chili got the fucking deal Chili got. The others didn't get that deal. Only Chili did. Had Caleb lived, had Caleb done what the fucking police told him to do and sat in the fucking car and got that gun off his person, put it under the seat or locked it up in the glove box or the center console, and then say to the police, if they talk to him again, hey, I'm a licensed gun holder. I have a gun in the car. Where is it? It's locked in the glove box. Don't touch the glove box. Get out of the car. That would have been it. And guess what? Caleb would have been the one fucking snitching. Caleb would have been the one snitching in the end when it was investigated. Caleb would have been the snitch boy. Could have been the snitch boy. In my opinion, highly probable that he would have been the snitch boy because he, according to Tina, wanted a law enforcement career, but that wasn't stopping him from using marijuana, another drug that, though it's legal, will prohibit you from becoming a police officer unless you stay off the pot for 3 years. So, you know, Tina, all you've done over the past, when you did your little talkie time thing, is admit that your son's using drugs. That's all you did, was admit that your son's using drugs. You didn't make up excuses to dispel methamphetamine in his system, you just painted a picture where your son is using drugs, Sudafed, marijuana. He's using drugs. He's involved in the club scene. You know anything about the club scene, you know most of those people are using. Most. Mhm. 75, 80% using. And if your son was the head of security, then he knew who was selling in the club and in the parking lot. Uh, Rebel at heart sounds like Chili with the planting of guns and drugs. Yeah, exactly. That Tina is you. This is why Tina formed a relationship with Chili, because Chili was reinforcing all of Tina's paranoid, delusional excuses for why Caleb was an angel. That's what Chili's fishing for. And like I said, Tina will always be to me the first fish that Chili hooked. And now Welsh News Network's got a hook in her mouth. Nope, wasn't me. Says I give Reaper a pass on the FBI claims because she is spot on with everything else concerning Chili, in my opinion. Uh, I got to go back and look at the totality of it, because I don't know if Dan took Reaper's story or if Reaper borrowed from Dan's massaging of facts. You know, Dan, who says he never said he has contacts at the FBI, but then writes on, goes and pull clips where Dan says the FBI is the source and the contact for the fucking information he's given out. And again, man, this shit can get intoxicating when you start, you're making videos and you're getting 100 views, 150 views, and then boom, you say something, and all of a sudden you're getting 1,000 views. And you want to kind of perpetuate and repeat the type of statements that brought all the viewers in. It's a trap. You have to be very fucking careful about that. Radius Hatter says if he was injected with meth after his death, it would not have spread through his system and would only be present at the injection site. Right, absolutely. That's why she then had to make up. She had to make up the statement that he was still alive when she got there. She was held up the fucking road. That he was still alive when she got there and no one gave him any medical attention. But yet there was EMS workers on the fucking scene when Tina got there. They must have just been, I've seen it. Look, EMS workers have to wait for the police to clear a scene. And I've seen EMS workers get really pissed off at the police because all the fucking EMS workers want to do. And these guys are, I know a few of them, two of my college buddies. One of my college buddies is actually in the FBI. And before that was Secret Service. He worked 3 years out of college. He worked on an ambulance as an EMS to bolster his resume before he went to apply at the Secret Service. And that 3 years of EMS work really fucking helped him get his foot in the door. He's done very well for himself. So, I know people at the FBI. I'm not calling them and bothering them about fucking Chili shit. I got a fucking buddy I met during my college days, didn't go to the same college, but a college nearby my college. And we became friends over time. He's an ATF agent. He's involved in the the ATF set up pawn shops. I forget what the fucking name of the thing was, but there was actually a congressional hearing about it. They set up pawn shops as it was called storefront sting. They set up pawn shops which were run by the ATF, and the idea was to just buy guns off the fucking street, get them out of circulation, and to check the guns to see if they had been involved in any crimes. So they were accused of overstepping their bounds because as the pawn shop operation became more and more successful, they were starting to meet individuals that had come in and sold a hot gun, and then they were coming in and talking to the pawn shop owner about, selling drugs and the rest of that shit. And they started doing all those deals and collecting evidence, and it wound up going all the way to Congress with congressional hearings because they did a better job than anybody thought they were going to do. It's a pretty impressive story. I think the name of the book, I think you can get it on Amazon. I think the name of the book is Storefront Sting, and it may be subtitled, secondary title, Statesboro Blues, because they did do a pretty big operation down in Statesboro, Georgia. Burns 66 sounds like high school again. Yeah, it kind of does. Delete lips with a little graphic, a little emoji interpretation of the WNN equals pants and a fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Katie D says Chili's nephew got the dog. Absolutely. We all saw it in the video. Did anybody over at Welsh News Network? This is a news network that does not correct incorrect information. I mean, you caught out, you said you had the dog, you said your friend had the dog, your friend don't have the fucking dog. Yeah, but you just act like that never got said. You don't go back and correct anything. I mean, I've apologized. I've corrected statements. I've never heard anyone at Welsh News Network do it for anything except a fucking superficial thing. Burn 66 says, I've really looked into what's happened to her son, hear all kinds of stuff from different channels. Yeah, there's so many fucking stories out there. It's hard to sort through it. And then you got whatever said on YouTube, you have to lay that out in the timeline of the investigative report. Dan made a big deal of the fact that the finding that there was methamphetamine in Caleb's system was, listed in a footnote. And Violet Wings posted a comment that, and I did verify this, because the cause of death was gunshot, the methamphetamine finding, that fact wouldn't be in the body of the report. It would be listed as a footnote because it's not the cause of death. So, Dan had to make up a whole fucking poo-poo and, well, it's just a footnote. It's information in the fucking report, Dan. You can't just blow it off with, oh, it was only a footnote. That's where findings that are not cause of death, that's where those findings would wind up. Dope. Walter, Texas says, it works. Tina's eyewitnesses are the same people who wrote all the reports about American government corruption. We have no way to prove or disprove that, Ratty Asada says. No one's ever seen the reports or Tina's friends. Does Tina have friends? Or are these just people she makes up, like her relationship with the celebrity John Schneider? I drove him to Branson, Missouri. Okay. Carte Blanche says the first time I saw her, all she had to complain about was how her birthday wasn't acknowledged by Chili and his behavior. Only spent 5 seconds on her son. It sure was a tearjerker, and I fell. Yeah, a lot of people did. Delete Lips says, because I have blood in my urine, mouth dry, etc., and symptoms that also go with the autoimmune stuff. Oop, that was off topic. All right. I'm not seeing anybody I haven't announced yet. Wow, I've been talking for an hour already. Nope, wasn't me. Dan finally wised up and didn't cover Corrections 101 stream or Coded's last stream. Sometimes you just got to take the loss, Danny boy. Sometimes you just got to mark the L. Yeah, he's moving on. He knows the more he talks and the more Tina talks, the more they're just going to get tangled up in their own lies. It's like you tied Dan and Tina's shoelaces together and didn't tell them and then sent one off to the left and the other off to the right. That's pretty much where they're at right now. Both of them on the floor. Dear Maid Costello, he could not use them because both has rights on video in them. It might be the reason. Delete Lips. I can't afford to go on an actual diet. I only weigh 105 on my good days. Wow, you're a teeny tiny little thing. Yeah, you can afford to eat healthy. You can. You really can. Because one of the things about eating healthy is reducing your portions. You can afford to eat healthy, Delete Lips. You can do it. If you need, shoot me an email. If you need a little cash, I'll help you out. Rebel at Heart, Nope wasn't me. At Nope wasn't me. He would have had to cut it when when we watched Rights On video. Yep, he would have. And then he would have looked stupid like he was trying to cover some shit up. Burn 66 says the KDD. I did a whole plant-based diet for 3 years. Went from 245 pounds to 175. That's a svelte move, sir. Burn 66 says WNN put me asleep many times. They have no idea on how to engage with their audience. They are there for each other. Pretty much. Melissa Stedman is here. Says hi, y'all. Hello, Melissa. Good to have you here. First time I've seen you in the chat. You may have been here before, but I'm just recognizing you now. Thanks for coming around. Burn 66 says at Walter, Texas, thanks, but being 6 foot tall and 175 made me look sick and like I was a druggie. Really? Got to make sure you get protein. Peanuts, peanut butter, all the beans and peas have protein in them. That's the biggest problem with a plant-based diet is your protein intake drops off and you start to lose muscle mass. Radius Hattis says that Nope wasn't me. Did Danny go back to talking about his favorite cash cow, Chilito de Grifto? I believe he was talking about all they really have over there right now. If they drop us from their 7-hour long opinion-based, unfact-filled gobbledygook, all they have left is Chilito and Reagan Benson. They love to mock that Reagan Benson. Oh, and if you want to talk misogyny and shit, you fucking stooges over at the Snooze Network. Uh you say a lot of shitty things about Reagan Benson. I understand she's a frauditor in your eyes and you don't like her, but your statements are still fucking misogynist. But then you hide it under word joking. They're misogynist jokes, you dumb fuck. You're still a misogynist. The homophobia and the misogynism at the Welsh Snooze Network panel is pretty amazing. You got a lot of balls going around calling other people out for the shit you do on a regular basis. Every fucking day, hours a day. Misty Eyed Girl says, hello, everyone. I hope you all have been having a fabulous day. It's been pretty good. It's a little cool where I am in the South, but I'm definitely enjoying it. I had to throw a jacket on last night. It got so chilly. Dear Maid Costello, I couldn't throw out occasions, but I'm going to travel to get receipts before I do. I could I really need to get fucking glasses. I need glasses. I need like a studio set of headphones. There's a few things I need. I definitely need to have glasses on that list. I never fucking do anything. I go to work, I come home, I go to sleep. My fucking day off. Lately, I'm watching fucking YouTube videos all day. I hope you guys appreciate the struggle I'm entangled in. Burns 66 at 6 foot tall says he hovers in between 190 and 195, but working out every day. That's fucking awesome, dude. Surrender Monkey says, I know I'm not well liked in the clique. I watch a LOL. I respect you. How do you feel about the evangelical movement now in mainstream politics? First off, I like you, Surrender Buggy. I like you. I think most of the people here do like you. So over here, I wouldn't say you're not well liked. I would say you're well liked, and I would say when you're not here, we know you're not here. We miss you. How do I feel about the evangelical movement in mainstream politics? I wish the Christian leaders were smart enough to separate what's owed to Caesar and what's owed to God, and get the evangelical shit out of politics. It's not God's business; it's Caesar's business. We're told by God to respect the authorities that are in place, because no government that exists is ordained except by God. And even the wicked ruler, the evil ruler, is not a terror to those who do good. The wicked ruler is there to punish the wicked people. So if you're doing good, you're probably going to get overlooked by the wicked leader because he doesn't have any fucking business with you. But if you do have to suffer, like Christ suffered for no fucking reason, or that if you suffer for doing good, that's a better life than any other life, to suffer for doing good. That's a better life than any other life you could lead. So count it all a joy. Look, 90 years of suffering on this fucking mortal coil, and we're all going to suffer something, even the best of us, the best of the worst, because no man is good. No man is good. Christ himself would not claim to be good because he was temptable. He didn't succumb to temptation, but because he was temptable, emptied himself of divinity and came in the flesh, tempted in all ways a human being can be tempted. It's Philippians 2:2, I believe. He suffered, and he died prematurely, 33 years old. So I would rather suffer for 90 years and spend an eternity in a perfected state with God than I would to gain the fucking world and lose my soul. Because that pit, the chief in the pit, everybody going one of two places. There's going to be a resurrection. There's going to be two resurrections. The resurrection of the believers, and then the reign and rule of the body of Christ for 1,000 years at the end of the millennial. The the non-believing dead will be resurrected, and they will face the Bema Seat judgment, and then they'll go into the pit with the one they choose to worship, Satan. Here's how fucked up things are with human beings. During that 1,000-year reign, Satan will be led up out of the pit. Before the reign starts, Satan and the disobedient angels will be put in the pit. Christ and the body of Christ will rule and reign for 1,000 years. No one will die. No one will be born. At the end of that 1,000 years, Satan will be let out of the pit one more time for just a little bit. Because after 1,000 years of Christ's rulership, there will still be human beings that want what Satan has to offer. And at the end of that 1,000-year reign, they'll get to go with Satan down into the pit. And you will spend eternity governed by an insane mind that can't tell the truth and doesn't know right from wrong. That's not where I'm looking to be for eternity. Yeah, so, Surrender Monkey, I'm disappointed at the evangelical movement that it is involving itself so deeply in politics. But I can tell you this, the evangelical movement, they are prophets, Profits, not Prophets. They are prophets, Profits, of GOT. They are the prophets of God. They're the name it and claim it guys. They're the live your best life now guys. They're those guys. Oh, God blessed me with a brand new house. Yeah, did he bless you with the fucking mortgage payments still? Name it, claim it, blab it, grab it. That's the heart of the evangelical movement. That's why they drive toward political power. Because they're really hedonists in disguise. You got to be careful who you listen to, because especially institutionalized religion. I was raised Roman Catholic. I don't have anything to do with the Roman Catholic Church anymore. I thank them for the education they gave me. I'm not happy that they sold me some bullshit with the education thing, but they did teach me to read the Bible, the importance of the Bible. And at a certain point in my Christian walk, I did, in fact, transcend the institution and no longer needed it for guidance. Because when you're a believer, you are not judged. Look at John 3:16 is the best known verse of the Bible. For God so loved the world, he sent his one and only son. Read 17, 18, and 19. Those who believe in him will not be judged. Those who don't believe are judged already. He didn't come to condemn the world. He came to save the world. So that little setup of verses right there, I'm not going to be judged. I believe that Christ died for my sins, my past sins, my present sins, and the sins that I will commit tomorrow, the day after, because it's a sin to steal, right? Everybody knows that. It's a shitty thing to do to steal money. It's a sin to think about stealing the money. That's the temptation. You don't even have to actually steal the money. You see a pile of money on a table and your thought is, oh, I'd like to grab some of that. That's a fucking sin. It's not yours. You shouldn't even be thinking that way. It's your intent that's judged by God. And here, let's get into some of this stuff. It's been said on a few of these broadcasts over at Welsh News Network and some other statements. Judge not, judge not, judge not. Doesn't script quoted? Doesn't scripture say judge not? Well, I'm glad you brought the scripture up. It does say judge not. That's only part of. You're not even reading the whole verse. This pulling a verse out of its context and then separating a portion of the verse from the rest of the verse and then acting like this scripture is telling you, prohibiting you from judging. It's not. What it says is, judge not, lest ye be judged. So that's not a prohibiting of judgment. That's a caution. Judge not, lest ye be judged, for the measure that you measure will be measured back to you. It's a warning. It's not a prohibition. It's a warning to be heeded. The standards you judge people by, you'll be judged by those standards. Christ at that point in time had not yet fulfilled the law or died for the sins of mankind. So he's warning people that are still alive, that are still under the law delivered by Moses. Be careful about the judgments that you pass. What's the problem with the woman who was caught in adultery? Why did Christ let her go? Why did he let her go and caution her to sin no more, lest a worse outcome fall on you? Why did he let her go? People don't know what the fucking law says. Okay? Why did Christ let the woman who was caught in the very act of adultery, why did he let her go? And why did he tell the men who brought the woman to be judged by Christ, why did he say to them, he was without sin, cast the first stone? Why would he say that? Because everyone is a sinner. So what was Christ saying to this specific group of men? What sin did they commit in the presence, right there in the presence of Christ, that their own heart condemned them of the sin they committed, and one by one, the eldest first dropped their stone and walked away. Why? Because the law says if you're caught in the act of adultery, you need 2 or more witnesses. You need at least 2 witnesses. If one person sees it, it's not enough. You got to have 2 or more. That's why there's a group of men here ready to stone this woman. They're just looking for Christ's approval. What's the problem with these men? The law says if you're caught in the act of adultery, you bring the man and the woman together for judgment, and they are to be stoned together. They only brought the woman. That they broke the fucking law. They know the law. They're Israelites. They broke the law. They only brought the woman. They didn't bring the man. That's why Christ released the woman and cautioned her, do not do this again. Go and sin no more. Because had these buffoons brought the man and the woman, they let the guy go and only brought the woman. Had they have brought the man and the woman, Christ would have had no choice but to turn and walk while they stoned her, because that was the requirement of the law. So while the men were inappropriately applying the law by allowing the man who was in the act with the woman, because they said to Christ, we caught her in the very act. Where's the guy? They broke the law when they only brought the female. They too are now subject to the punishment for bearing false witness because they didn't bring the guy. So Christ, judge not lest ye be judged, for the measure with which you measure shall be measured back to you. That's a caution, not a prohibition. But the people who are citing that, they do that to ignorant Christians in order to stop their mouths. I'm not ignorant, and I know a little more than you do. And if you go over to First Corinthians, where the Corinthian assembly had to write a letter to Paul about sexual misconduct between a son and his mother, the response, they're asking Paul what to do, and Paul's response is, why haven't you judged? Why do you not know that you will judge angels? How much more in this life? Why is he still in the assembly with you? Why have you not cast him out? Again, sexual perversion. It's a very dangerous thing to have in your camp, because you start overlooking things that you should have sent the person, cut yourself off from such things. So that those people doing those things, they should have been judged, and they should have been excommunicated, sent out of the community. So this whole idea of not judging is bullshit. The judgment you're supposed to pass should be a righteous judgment. Now, how are you going to do that, Danny and Tina Slay, when your stories are so filled with fucking mistruths, half truths, and outright fucking lies? How are you going to pass righteous judgment? And you are passing judgment, Dan, Tina, passing judgment on me, passing judgment on Jeremiah Payne, passing judgment on Regan Benson. You pass judgment on Walter Texas. You're fucking haranguing him and harassing him over in your chat and a few other people from here. You are so fucking herd mentality over there, so groupthink, that the individuals in the group ought to be very careful that you don't get trampled by your own. Me, I'd rather get, if I was a herd man, I'd rather get eaten by the lion than trampled by my group members. I don't have that groupthink mentality, which is why I said in the past, you tell me I can't talk about something, and that you're just going to guarantee that I'll be talking about it, because I'm not part of the fucking herd. Wake up, Danny. I'm a lion. I'm not a zebra. Bad, Danny. Bad. All right, we got an hour and a half in here. That's a little more than I intended to stick around. Oh, Michelle is with us. Hello, Michelle. Oh, Lisa got here. Let's do this real quick. Hello, Lisa. I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm not. I just want to address the sentiment here. Let me get that up real quickity quick. I waited to see you, Lisa, because I wanted to make sure that you were present while I read. I didn't want to do it without you here. Let me get over to my channel. All right, so I, under the Cray Cray Tina Slay community post, I put new info coming. We inform, you decide. Lisa responds, we inform. Hang on one second. Sorry, I gotta address this and then get out. My boss is calling me. I probably got to go in a little early. So I, with the cray cray picture of, cross-eyed Tina, I put new info coming. We inform, you decide. Lisa responds, we inform, you decide, in quotes, ... So no opinions, no commentary, just information without bias. Okay, let's see if you're honest or deceptive. And my response is, you are setting my standards? LOL, where's my paycheck, pseudo boss? I can't have an opinion? While informing people, I can't have opinion? And if you think, Lisa, if you're going to put it without bias, no one's without bias, Lisa. No one's without bias. So I'm rejecting that criteria right there because it's easy. It's easy to be biased. There's a bias in everything. If I'm talking about something, my bias is for it. If I'm talking against something, my bias is against it. So I'll stick to facts where they're facts, provable facts with receipts, and where it's my opinion or my speculation, I'll say it's my opinion or my speculation. I'll be a little more clear about the difference between the two for people who can intuitively sense it. But as far as being unbiased, that's an impossibility. So you're setting a criteria that guarantees failure. I'm not accepting that criteria. Raccoon Mama responds, Lisa, 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 and puts an emoji with a tongue stuck out. Lisa then responds at codedfriend.001, no, you set the standard when you said we inform, you decide. Informing you about my opinion is information. So, you're just trying to reword shit and make it so what you're trying to do is make the net so you can catch. That's kind of disingenuous, Lisa. So at Lisa, so you're restricting my speech, saying I can't inform as to my opinion? Lulz, 445. I'll address your comment. Your comment has been addressed. Codedfriend.001, Lisa says, well, that would be saying one thing, then doing another. If I'm clearly saying I will inform you about my opinion, then how is that doing something different than informing you, Lisa? The semantic word games and hair splitting is becoming annoying, Lisa. You're a difficult person to deal with. You want to set it all up so that the ball rolls right to your feet. You got to do a little work, Lisa. You got to do a little work. Jump up out of your armchair. I know you like to. I know you're not in these YouTube videos because you've already said it. You're there to chat with people. Go chat. Or bring your friend Witch of Heart and the other one, the three double bubble toil and trouble cauldron stirrers can group up together. Double bubble, toil and trouble. Lisa, Witch of Heart, and who was your third female there? Lisa, let me ask you something. Do you want to be treated as an equal, or do you want to be treated as, oh, she's a woman, you can't talk to her that way? State which way you want to be treated and make it clear. Do you want me to treat you as an equal, or do you want me to treat you as a delicate, inferior, that certain things can't be said to? Please let me know, because I'll treat you the way you want to be treated. Tina Slay's a strong woman. How dare you? She's not weak. She's strong. How dare? And then she's over with Dan at the Welsh News Network, and Dan's making up excuses for her. Nope, wasn't me, confirms and says, yep, Sudafed is the main ingredient when making meth. And we have a record of Caleb Slay's involvement with methamphetamine, because he had it in his system, and his involvement with buying Sudafed. Thanks for the extra details, kids. All right. Hold on. Let me see if Lisa gave me a response here as to how she wants to be treated. I'm way behind on the chat. Hold on there, Lisa. I'm getting caught up. Chili's blow up doll is with us. 61205, still skinny. Rock that on. 6'1". All right. Now I'm confused. I thought Chili's. Oh, delete lips is female, right? Chili's blow up doll. Are you male or female? I don't know why, but I thought you were female. But at 61205, I'm not saying you're not female, but that's kind of a male build. If you're 61205, you should be, and female, you should be in the WNBA. Deputy, who's all right? Deputy, hey, deputy, at codedfriend.001. I will hear at this tomorrow at church with my daughter. I will hear at this with. Okay. Glad to have you here, deputy. Nice to see you. Deputy says, at Surrender Monkey, do you want my church to send you a Bible for free to your home? You don't really need that. That's information collecting. If you have access to the internet, the best place to go, Bible Hub. You could just throw Bible Hub in your Google, and any passage of scripture, you will get probably a dozen different translations. Remember, if it's not written in Koine Greek or Chaldean Hebrew, it's a translation. There's two ways to translate. Word for word or dynamic. And then the third, there's actually three. The third would be a hybrid combination of the two. It's important to know which type of translation you're reading, whether it's a word for word or a dynamic. And some passages can't be translated word for word because there aren't corresponding words, Koine Greek to English. So you do have to use a dynamic there, because the word for word, even though it has been used in some instances, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So Koine Greek is the original language of the New Testament. Chaldean Hebrew is the language of the Old Testament, both of which are dead languages, and the meanings do not change. They're also far more clear and concise languages than the English language is. Just basically the structure of the language takes away a lot of the vagarities that are in English. Thank you for offering a Bible to send out, though, Deputy. But everybody here is, digital. So if you want, a access to multiple Bibles, multiple translations of the Bible, Bible Hub is probably the best place to go. Lisa, I didn't see an answer from you. Did you leave out before I got down here? Hello, McAddicts. How are you, bro? Where's Lisa? Raccoon Mama's here. Did you see your Raccoon Mama? Did you get your you should be right here, right? Katie D was the last comment. Walter, Texas. Raccoon Mama, is your wrench showing? Oh, you got your wrench. Cool, cool. Everyone say hello to our newest moderator, Raccoon Mama. Be responsible with that. I don't have to take anybody's wrench away. The only one that got a wrench taken away at codedfriend.001 was Hank. But Hank don't come around no more, so that don't matter. All right, I have got to hit the road. I addressed the Lisa thing. I don't see a response from her. I will go back through the I'll go back through the comments on a re-listen and check and see if Lisa responded to me. Well, here's Lisa. Okay, then I'm gonna pop in some other streams bio. Yeah, see, Lisa doesn't want to. Lisa will go somewhere else if Lisa's about to chat. She's not really about the content of the program. Hank traded my wrench for a beer. Damn it. Dear Maid Costello says Hank is here. Raccoon Mama promises to be responsible with her wrench. I just said it to make sure it's been said. I know you're going to be responsible with the wrench. All right, I got to roll. I got to get out of here. We came in with Badco. Let's go out with Badco. Let's go out with the Badco tune. I will see you again tomorrow. I'll have time before I head off to work. Hopefully I'll get up a little earlier than I did today. I was pretty beat after last night because I didn't know it was going to get as chilly as it got. And I was a little underdressed for last night. I was outside all night, and it really took the... That's not right. It really took the... beat the energy out of me. All right, Badco on the way out. CodedFriend.001 listeners, thank you for joining me today. I will see you again tomorrow, 2:30, 3 o'clock range. Be there or be square.
Company, always on the run. Destiny is a rising sun. Oh, I was born, 6 gun in my hand. Behind a gun, I make my final stand. Hey, that's why they call me bad company, and I can't deny. Bad company till the day I die. Rebel souls, deserters we are called. Chose a gun and threw away the sword. Now these towns, they all know our name. 6 gun sound is our claim to fame. I can hear them say, bad company, and I won't deny. Bad company till the day I die. Yeah.
Adios, muchachos. See you later.